and gentlemen, this is Said David Farben Cosmic Activation 2012 Alchemy event in Los Angeles, city of Irvine. We welcome all the listeners and on the radio, on the streaming video, and on the DVDs that you will purchase later and watch this panel. This is a panel of future, how we create a new future timeline for our kids and our own future that so far has not been established by any other thought in humanity as 12 best speakers in the world. And they're joining us tonight to create this thought and this spoken words and these written things will create a new timeline that mankind will think what else he has in his power to create, what else he can do, what else he can imagine, what else can happen. And we can open new channels and new doors to humanity. Please open those doors to humanity. They don't know what else to do. They don't know what else to do other than watching TV and driving in the town and they have no idea what else is in their front for their future and future our kids. Our kids all the time are on their cell phones. They have no time to talk to us anymore. Our kids driving long distances and working very hard, 2-3 jobs and going to school. Our kids, they don't know what they want for their future. So please show them at least that thing. We can give them that gift tonight. From my right hand side, I have one of the greatest speakers in America, Barbara Lamb. We welcome Barbara Lamb. Mr. Michael Primo, after Barbara Lamb, is one of the most important archaeologists and speakers in America and world. After that, we see a man who has changed America for past 20 years in prophecy and lots of ufology. Mr. Sean David Morton, the founder of Area 51. After that, we have a great researcher, Mr. Robert Potter. After that, we have a great speaker coming from Northern California, Mr. Bob Oliver. After that, we have a great healer, which he has a modality of healing that is amazing, Mr. Edwin Harkness Spina. After him, we reach a new coming to the scene of whistleblowers from shadow government projects and laser technology and other conspiracies that they are doing behind scenes. He is joining the light forces. We welcome Stephen D. Kelly. After Mr. Stephen D. Kelly, we get to a gentleman that he has risked a lot of his governmental, as he's still working in one of the most sensitive places in America. I have verified myself and in health, and he will tell you more. Mr. Eric Dodmer. Coming behind him, Jerry Avalos. Next to him, our Norwegian friend, Mr. Tommy Hansen. Next to him, Dr. Susan Chomsky, great speaker and ascension writer. She's one of the best writers in America. Please get her books. Next to her, we have one of the great researchers in Aztec calendar, Mayan history, Aztec history, and a lot of different historical facts in America and in Yucatan. Mr. Mazat Singh. So, to create a new future, we are going to think, what is it that we don't have now that we would like to have? For example, I would like to travel by air very quickly instead of getting on a freeway. I want my ship land in San Fernando Valley right away. You know, that's what I like to have. Or I would like to have communication without having a cell phone in my hand, that it hurts my ears or attacks ELF, EMF, or going out of technology, I would like to have consciousness that I can telepathically send you love and talk to you. We understand each other right away, a million miles away. We don't need to speak anymore. We can rapidly talk to each other. So this is my ideas. We start from Barbara. Barbara, please tell us what you have in mind on that in your future timeline. What would you like to have? You like to have fish sandwich that is comes in front of you?
Actually, what I have in mind is more of a method which we could apply to so many things that we might like. And the method is simply, we all are getting a sense of it, a consciousness. In other words, we can really create what we want if we really put our minds to it, focus on it with feeling, positive feeling coming up, picturing the outcome as if it's already here, and really putting ourselves into that with our whole being. And if we keep doing that for whatever that aim is, I know from my own personal experience that can be very effective. So then the challenge is, and I'm going to leave that to the rest of you, what kinds of changes, what kinds of improvements? I think we can have them if we really get behind it. So consciousness, and then of course we have to take some steps, take some action to actually help bring that about.
Mr. Primo, what is your intake on that?
I'd like to see some changes in the public tax-supported education system. At the present moment, those who have some very bad ideas that have some very detrimental effects on human civilization for us as individuals and collectively have a government-enforced monopoly in the education system. We're talking about consciousness. Consciousness is something that can exist apart from matter. The idea that's being taught in the public tax-supported education system is that consciousness has no separate reality. It's just the result of chemical interactions in the brain. It's the idea that matter produces consciousness. So I think this has the effect of giving people a very materialistic sense of identity of what they are. If you define your existence materially, your goals and values are going to be materialistic. We're taught that we're machines made of matter and competition with each other for survival. I think this underlies a lot of the financial, political, cultural, and economic and environmental crises that the world is facing. We need a new science based on consciousness. It has to be introduced into the public education systems. At least there has to be some diversity there. We can't give those who support these very materialistic conceptions of self a government-enforced monopoly in the education system.
Wow.
What he said, gosh, I have more political solutions. I just see that the governmental structures are going to be in a collapse. I need people to start declaring their own independence, I guess, declaring their de jure state national status. The realization that we're 50 independent countries, that each state is an independent country under its own constitution, that each one of the states will begin to start forming their own banks, to start breaking out of one way or another. What has to happen is we have to have to start everything politically rolling, we have to have the destruction of the Federal Reserve System. By that happening, we then have to have states actually starting their own banks to be able to fund their own. Everything that Michael just said can actually be done through states actually starting their own banks and loaning bonds.
And secession of California is possible?
The secession of California will happen when California forms the Bank of California. That'll be like the Bank of California, exactly like North Dakota's already done with the Bank of North Dakota, which has been around for 94 plus years. There's blue ribbon commissions now that are actually studying that, but then each state will be able to put its own assets into its own bank and then start writing its own script script against its assets, and that will begin to break the stranglehold of the Federal Reserve one by one. And I think you're going to start seeing that. I think also you're going to see a.
Wait a minute. We want to get away from this money business.
You can't. Money is a quantitative measurement of energy. Therefore, energy must be measured by what we would quantify as money. What you're trying to get away from is you're trying to actually get away from the Federal Reserve System, where the privately owned Federal Reserve can just print $15 trillion out of nothing, which they've just done.
Remote view the future from Marta. He saw we have all the services for free in 87 years from now. What that means?
87 years from now?
From the time he was, I apologize, from the time.
Okay. Well, having known Al Bielek for years personally, he had a very interesting, he also thought we were going to be at war with the reptilians at some point, but it's, okay, all right, if that's what he viewed, that's what he viewed.
I'm not saying this for a fact. I mean, anything he says is 100% bulletproof, okay. But most of what he said it was true.
All right.
And this issue of money is very important, what you're saying, because you're saying we cannot have a future without money. This is it's a big thing here in this table.
You have to get
Are you sure about that?
You have to get your terms and definitions correct, David. And the terms and definitions is you'll never have a civilization without a quantifiable measurement of people's energy, which is what money is. Money is not. It's every civilization throughout the beginning of time has actually dealt in some sort of barter or some form of money. It's what I'm trying to say here is that we need to get away from a money system that's based on slavery, that's based on ignorance, that's based on the credit, basically borrowing as the credit of the people.
Who else agrees with Sean on money business? Who agrees with him? Who disagrees? You agree with Sean?
One person.
Okay, who else agrees with Sean on money and money?
I don't want to make this an economic debate. You want to?
Bob, you agree with Sean?
Okay, I'm done.
Bob, I want to know what Bob says. How do you agree with Sean? Because I know you about money.
I didn't understand about me. What?
You agree with
I agreed with Sean. I believe I agreed with Sean, you see, because communication is difficult at best. But I think we have to have an exchange system for our energy. I've worked with exchange of services, and that seems to be a popular from the past, and it's popular again in certain areas. But we need money. We need a money system. You can have barter money, barter dollars.
You don't need even bartering. The government, whoever system is there, you can provide everything for everybody when everybody's working. Go ahead. It's my turn. Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and shed some new light on this. As I spoke after the event, after the arrest and the enforcement of the Galactic Codex that's going to take place, and humanity is liberated by the Agartha Network and the Galactic Forces of Light with the aid of the Earth allies, what's going to take place is a beginning of the awareness of interplanetary cultural exchange. Ambassadors will step forward with information proving our contact with extraterrestrials. Will have formal communications. In the beginning, the black fist of the money that's been held by those greedy forces will be released to the public. We will feed, shelter, and clothe the homeless for free. They'll take out the nuclear power plants. They'll put in a washing machine-sized machine. Will be free energy. The consciousness of the planet will develop. We'll begin to understand that we're all in this and we serve each other together. We will begin to have the universal economic system. We will create world trusts. The idea of the work ethic is going to change because there'll be very little work needed to maintain the system. We'll have free energy. So we will be moving forward very shortly. The timelines are going to be healed. The etheric, astral, and physical planes will be cleansed of the lower astral entities by divine decree, and this planet will be remade. We will reestablish the spiritual nature of consciousness and sharing. The law of one will be established, and we will not need money. Eventually.
What is it? Hurry up, because we're moving.
Money is greed-based. Most of the history of the world, we haven't been using money. Money's, only in the last, how many seconds of history.
Well,